Hello, welcome to the first stage race of the year in Europe at the Étoile de Passage. I'm here just south of Nimes and I'm going to get some tech over the next couple of days. And I've got a bit of an idea because there is a few teams here, World Tour and Pro Conti, with the same bike sponsor. I'm going to see what the superstars of the sport get and what the up-and-comers get depending on their bike sponsor. And for this video, I am going to delve into those over there, Decathlon AG2R and the Pro Conti squad. That is also sponsored by Rysel-Roubaix. So let's see if there's any differences and what those differences are. Alright, let's delve into these two teams, Decathlon AG2R and Rysel-Roubaix. Two teams that sit at either end of the UCI rankings, shall we say. Got the World Tour team there and a Continental team. Now, if you're not aware, Van Rysel started life out in 2018, if I remember rightly. I have been round their headquarters in Lille, so I'll link that video below. It is dead interesting. And because they're based in Lille, it means that Van Rysel-Roubaix is actually their, local team or their local pro team. Hence why they sponsor them. They actually now have the bar next to the velodrome as the Van Rysel bar, I think, if I remember rightly. And that bar is also the home to the club that Van Rysel-Roubaix sits under. Okay, onto the tech now. Because both teams are, of course, on Van Rysel bikes. But there is a few differences, quite a few differences actually. Decathlon AG2R haven't just got the RCR frame that they were using last year, but they have now got the choice of using that new rcr-f, or is it the f-rcr? We don't know because it hasn't been released yet. I'm guessing it's pretty much ready for announcement because heck, the classics are coming up and I'm sure the riders will want to be using something like that for those races. It is Van Rysel's new aero road bike. It was teased at the team launch back in November, and on the start line at Étoile de Passage at least, there was two riders riding it. The Danish national champion with a very cool paint job and their sprinter extraordinaire Sam Bennett. Over at Van Rysel-Roubaix though, no such luck with the new rcr-f as of yet. They're just riding the RCR, and from what I have been told, or from what I understood from the French mechanic, it sounds like they get a race bike and a training bike at the start of the season. Maybe a couple of other bikes filtered through later on. What with them being a Continental team, it's not as many as the World Tour team, who, again, I was told get, I think, 4 bikes in total, plus a time trial machine as well. Okay, let's be honest though, that paint job on the Roubaix team bikes is absolutely killer, isn't it? On to equipment, because this is where things really change. Roubaix are using SRAM throughout, not just group sets, but their sister or in-house wheel brand, Zip, as well. What's interesting, it isn't the top tier group set, the red axis. Instead, it is the second tier force axis group set with a few changes, or at least one change. There's a red front derailleur on there. Don't ask me why. Wheels are from Zip, as I've just said. In this case, it is the 404 Firecrest throughout the team. Looks like that might be the only choice for the riders. Not a bad choice at all. Over at Decathlon AG2R, they are a team that isn't actually sponsored by Shimano, but either buys it direct at a reduced price or has Van Rysel supply it. And with them not being actually sponsored by Shimano, as there is actually only a few teams in the World Tour that are, they can chop and change a few bits and pieces on there. And in this case, it is the chain rings. They've gone for the carbon tie Very expensive chainrings. I think they retail for about €220 a pop. And it's a product that we first saw filtering into the peloton a couple of years ago. Last year, UAE Emirates pretty much had the whole team using them. Now, I've mentioned the wheels over at Van Rysel-Roubaix being Zip. Over at Decathlon AG2R, they're using Swiss side again. Last year, they were riding them. This year, again. And what's interesting is here, is they use them because Van Rysel partner with Swiss side in Switzerland for their aerodynamic expertise when developing their bikes. And they're keeping things even more aero with them wheels by using the new Continental aero tyres, or at least up front on quite a few of the bikes. These are meant to be the most aero tyres out there. We first saw them last year at Eurobike, where they announced them with DT Swiss, who, oddly enough, also work with Swiss side on their aero expertise. Now, if you're waiting for me to say wait, I'm going to upset you here because neither team would let me throw the bikes on a scale, maybe later on in the season, eh? As for cockpit, well, it is Van Rysel's own proprietary bar and stem for both teams, which is actually designed and developed by Italian manufacturer Deda, hence why there's Deda logos on there. The other touch points being the saddle come from Physic, and from running around the pits, it definitely looks like 3D printing is becoming the norm for saddle choice. That last touch point, pedals both come from Look. Why wouldn't two French teams use a French product? Okay, I think we've covered everything, but before I go, there was one little interesting bit that I did notice that isn't about the bike, but is about Van Rysel. The Van Rysel-Roubaix team, even though it is their title sponsor on the jersey, don't actually wear Van Rysel clothing. Decathlon AG2R do this year after swapping from Rosti clothing. But Van Rysel-Roubaix actually use, well, a small French manufacturer called Diffuse Sport. Yeah, I've never heard of them either. All right, I think that is it from me. Enough is enough for this first. I think we'll call it Team Bike Face Off. There is more to come. I've got 2 other videos already filmed on this series. 3 teams who are sponsored by Cannondale is going to be in episode 2. And episode 3, we're going to go back all French again with Look and Cofidis and CIC Nantes. Right, let us know what you think in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. If not, shoot us a message via the social media sites. And as always, thank you for watching and enjoy your riding.